YouTube, what the crap's going on? HeirofCarthage here, back. Well, I say back for the first time, live streaming Total War Warhammer. And that was kind of interesting. During the intro, YouTube, or my broadcaster told me that I dropped a few frames. Hopefully it doesn't stay that way. Right now, YouTube's telling me I have a good stream. We'll see. I've got the comment or the chat pulled up over here, so I should be able to see the chat. Let me just get one more thing set up. I'm going to tab over into the game, of course. Okay. All right, think we're ready to get things started. So yeah, I'm going to be doing today as I'm going to be starting a dwarf campaign, and I've actually played quite a bit of dwarf campaign on my own. I will be playing other campaigns. This won't be the only one. I'm not going to just do them one at a time like I had been doing. I'm going to cover several campaigns so you all get to see it. Someone's asked me why I don't live stream using Twitch, because then I have to run a Twitch channel and a YouTube channel, and it's a pain in the butt, and to have to move them back and forth. I just don't like that, don't want to mess with it. There's some things that Twitch does better in terms of streaming, and I'd love to have the audience there, but I don't have time to mess with two websites, so I do it on YouTube. In any case, that's why I don't do Twitch. Not to mention, I actually really dislike a lot of the way that Twitch is laid out. It's extremely annoying. I like the concept of what Twitch is, and I can see why it's popular, but in terms of layout and usability, it irritates me. Not to say that YouTube is perfect, because they are far from it. In any case, let's get started on the Dwarf campaign. I'm going to play as Thorgrim Grudgebearer, and we'll enable the introduction battle just so y'all can see what it's like. I'm going to put the difficulty on hard. I've not played manual saves, yeah, so I'm not going to do legendary. I'm going to start off on hard. The one I played was on normal. It was actually a pretty decent challenge for normal, so I don't know what to expect on hard to see if it's a big difference. The campaign on this was a little more challenging than what I was used to on Attila, but you know what? I had a lot of time in Attila, so that's probably part of the explanation as well. It looks like YouTube dropped a few more frames, but hasn't done a whole lot. Every now and then when I do these middle of the day streams, YouTube just goes all crappy on me. I'm not trying to trash Twitch. Someone says that it's just people begging for subs. I don't know anything about it in that respect. Like I said, I like that they're focused solely on games. Anyway, I'm going to shut up. Watch this. We'll talk about other stuff later.
The old world is a crucible of relentless war. It has ever been so. An era as long as the mountains are unyielding. As the storms gather again, it presents a chance for the brave to bring about an age of reckoning. I come to the Dwarf High King as a herald of such times, and so I find myself at the King's right hand. My presence is timely, for dire news comes from the south. Greenskins flock to the banner of a cruel war boss. Now, my liege, Thorgrim Grudgebearer, leads a mighty throng from Karazakarak, smashing aside any foes that block our path. If Grudgebearer desires to return the Karaz Angkor to its former glory, then he must rid his lands of vile greenskins. Those gathering within the shadows of Everpeak are a good start.
Yeah, so you can see you get a pretty cool intro there.
I see orc scum. They foul our mountains with their vile tales. The Damaskron, our great book of grudges, is filled with such greenskin atrocities. Bring hammer and axe. Show these irks and Groby no mercy.
Alright, so I've been watching the chat here.
Attack, my lord.
I'm going to get a ton of advice from this guy that I don't need. He wants me to survey the battlefield, so here I am moving around. Great, looking good. Here's my... These are allied dwarves that you don't control because this is, again, just a... Oh, really? I have to fight? Thanks, advisor. I wish someone could mod in the Shame for Display advisor. Yeah, I think there's going to be quite a bit. Someone says build a wall, keep the greenskins out. Oh, jeez. Shouldn't I be at work? Yes. Well, no, because I'm on break for the moment, so I don't live too far away from my work, so I'm going to be able to go ahead and stream for you a little bit while I'm on break, and then yes, I'll be back at work. Seems a little laggy. What's my FPS? I don't have an FPS counter running right now. I'm running this on Ultra, and on Ultra it is going to be a little laggier on my computer. I can run it on high pretty easily as well. In fact, I mean, I could show you all the difference. So like right now I'm running it on Ultra. I can go over to graphics and switch it over to high for a while. So yeah, we'll switch it over. It's not a huge difference, and it does run better frame rates. Plus, it's a stream, so sometimes streams will always seem a bit laggy depending on what my my stream bit rate is and all that other kind of stuff. So I only get to control just this one unit of Longbeards for the moment. I'm gonna bring Thorgrim up here as well. He does have a couple of abilities. I'm gonna charge here with the Longbeards. Yeah, I don't get to control all the troops here because this is just a battle to try and get you used to the game. Can give you a couple close-ups though. See my Longbeards here getting mixed up with the orcs. The Greenskins do suffer, at least with their beginning units. They suffer in terms of. Sorry, I'm going to look at the augments that I have here just to kind of get a better idea of what I've got. The Greenskins are going to suffer in terms of morale with early units. Their later units are a lot tougher. People were saying Ultra was real bad lag-wise. It depends on the battle. I have certain battles where I can run the game on 60 FPS in Ultra, and then other times the game will run slower. It kind of just depends. I'm going to actually pull Thorgrim back a little bit. We'll try and mop up this fight. We can actually charge him into the back of this blob over here. Y'all want to see Thorgrim get up here and get into action. He's got the Book of Grudges right up there in front of him. That's a pretty short axe for such a big chair, too. Apparently, he's got some mad skills to be able to chop over the top of his Grudge book and not have any issues. I got some reinforcements, by the way. Let's start moving them up. Get a couple of units of Longbeards and Thunderer. The Thunderer is great. Absolutely awesome. Let me check the chat again. So yeah, for Chaos, people are saying you get 3 Legendary Lords. That could be. I can't play as Chaos yet. Dadgummit, the stream is dropping frames like crazy right now. Like I said, this has happened to me before whenever I stream in the middle of the day, but I just saw that the stream's dropping a ton of frames. Let me go check something out real quick. It looks like it's still dropping frames, even though it says that my stream status health is good, so that's irritating. Apologize for that. Not really sure why that happens sometimes, but I'm looking at my bit rates, and I'm getting good bit rates, and it says the health is good on YouTube, but for some reason it's dropping a lot of frames. So we're just gonna have to hope that corrects itself. This is I don't know why I just have I have better luck streaming at nighttime my time than in the day. Seems like something weird happens all the time during the day. So yeah, we got Thorgrim here. Got my reinforcements coming up. I'm going to go ahead and start blasting some of these orcs that are running through here. What the heck was that? A Doom Diver? Sure was. These orc biggins are just basically trying to go past me. I'm going to bring these gunners up and see if we can help get rid of some of these trolls. Yeah, they have a Doom Diver catapult up there. Yeah, sorry about the frames, people. I don't know. It's still just dropping frames like crazy. No idea why. Again, I've got a great bitrate right now. It's saying I have a 5500 kbps bitrate, and the stream health on YouTube is saying good. So if I knew why it was dropping frames, I would tell you. But I have no idea. So I guess it's just dropping frames for the heck of it. Or it's YouTube. One of the two. Give it a chance, though. It'll usually smooth out. This is the risk of streaming. This is why I don't stream everything I do. Yeah, let's get a look at some of these thunderers down here. Shut it, dummy. You can see my thunderers down here. They've lost line of sight on what they were shooting at. And let's see. Thorgrim's still in good shape. Got my long beards down here kicking some trash. These guys are chasing off a routing unit and need to come back. Here, let's use my thunderers to target these orc biggins or whatever they are. I'm going to attack some trolls with Thorgrim here. Watch my thunderers. Should cut these guys down pretty convincingly. Thunderers are actually a pretty darn good missile unit, I find. They've got pretty good power, and they'll tear up infantry pretty nicely. There's an orc goblin big boss right there. I'm going to run away from the goblin big boss, and I'll intercept him with some long beards. Thorgrim's just over here pounding away. Use his augments. He'll be pretty safe in this battle, though you do have to be careful. He can get killed. People are asking if you can play Rome 2, can it play this? Obviously, this game is more graphically demanding than Rome 2 is, but also this game is 64-bit, and it's not quite yet, but it's going to have DirectX 12 support, which is going to make a huge difference in the way that it behaves. Kind of hard to say whether or not it can play your game. I would think if you can run Rome 2 on high graphics or very high graphics, something like that you should be able to run this game. I don't know how comparable it'll be. I'm running a GTX 970 in NVIDIA, and it's running this game very well. I am going to upgrade to the 1080. I'm just waiting on it to release. So I'll be able to run it, flat out on Ultra without any issues once I get that upgrade made. The people who I know that are running it on a 980 Ti right now are having no problems, obviously, running it on Ultra. Whereas, say, like with Attila, even a 980 Ti really wouldn't get the job done. Not in terms of like a good solid 60 FPS. Whereas on this game, it's a lot easier to get 60 FPS than it is on Attila. Look at him. Check out this guy running away. It's the orc big boss, and I'm sitting there shooting him with my thunders. There he goes. We got him. So, big surprise. We won this. Yeah, the lag earlier was because frames were being dropped for some reason. I'm not sure why. Again, my bit rate is very good right now, and the health of the stream is good. It just weird stuff like that happens on the stream sometime, and I have no idea. Mr. Relish wants me to shout him out. Been watching since 2012. That's good. Appreciate it, Mr. Relish. DX12 is horrible right now. I wouldn't know. I'm not keeping track of it. It'd be nice to see something made for it.
The mountains rumble to the sound of your armies marching. Yet the threat to
I haven't had any problems with DX12 yet. We did shoot down that orc boss. It was pretty great.
The lands around here remain infested with filthy greenskin scum. See for yourself.
Yes, indeed. So he wants me to check out the greenskin scums here at the Pillars of Grungi. Grungni.
To defile your most sacred monuments. They must be expelled.
Michael Butler's asking if it's worth getting the GTX 1080 over the 1070. That depends. For me, yes, because I need the highest performance out of games because I also have to record. Is it for you? I don't know. You'd have to look at that for yourself. But for me, having the highest level equipment is important because I have to not only be able to run the game that high, but I also have to be able to record it. And I'm sure that the R9 390 would run the game well. I don't know everything about that graphics card, but if I know right, it's fairly high quality. I would think you'll be fine.
Look kindly upon your cause, sire. With sufficient persuasion, they would likely join your struggle.
I have not run this on my laptop yet. My laptop is a 980 mobile, so I can run it on there and see how it runs. Trying to think what else you all are asking down here. Is this game more quest-driven than the other Total Wars? To a degree, yes, and I'll explain. That's a good question. Is it more quest-driven? And again, I would say to a degree, yes, because I'm playing right now without any mods. On day one, there will be mods. So basically, the game is going to play differently in the sense that you have like regional occupation. So like as the dwarves, I can really only occupy greenskin settlements and other certain areas. I can't just occupy everything on the map. So I kind of have a quest to root out the greenskins and other people who are occupying the former dwarven lands. Chaos is still going to be coming after me. You have the quest battles that pop up in campaigns. So yes, it's more quest driven, and partly also because your legendary lord can be leveled up, and that kind of becomes a quest for you, right, to make your legendary lord the best. CPU, I'm not really sure how CPU usage affects this game versus the past Total Wars. In past Total Wars, it was a pretty big deal because they were single-threaded, only being a 32-bit game. But at this point, the game is multi-thread, so I'm sure CPU is still important because there's a lot of physics calculations and stuff in Total War Warhammer. But it's definitely going to. It may not be as big of a difference. I don't know. I don't have a way to test that just yet because I don't have multiple computers to run this on and benchmark it. So we'll have to look for more information.
Proud kin stand ready to take up arms against the invaders, my lord. Recruit them, and they will be ready to fight in the battles that are to come.
Yeah, someone's saying here that they've got an old 3930K and a 780 Ti, and they're going to try and run it at 1440. I haven't tried to run the game at 1440, but if you're not going all the way up to ultra graphics, it's possible that might work. Having a lot of power like that definitely helps. Yeah, multi-threading is nice. I sure hope that it works. Hey, Johnny boy, this is not a political stump, so let's cut the political chatter, or else I'm going to have to time you out. Don't need any of that going on. We're here to talk about Warhammer. So, let's see. They want me to recruit some more infantry. All we can get is dwarf warriors and miners. I'm going to call in some dwarf warriors.
For now.
And basically, I'm still just going through. This is all tutorial, so if you're relatively new, this is helpful. Hey, John Smith and Johnny, I'm not kidding about the whole Trump crap, so cut it, or else you're about to get cut out of the chat. I don't want my chat screwed up with this kind of stuff. This is for a live stream. I try to be nice and everything, but yeah, too many of my live streams turn into something stupid like that, so cut it out.
Send me to vengeance.
All right, so we got to select our settlement here, and he's going to want us to upgrade stuff.
Upgraded training facilities will allow you to bet excellent.
So we're going to get upgraded infantry training at the settlement. The settlements are a little different, a little bit easier to understand what buildings are going to do. This is the tech tree.
Put the finest minds from the
I'm going to go ahead and do...
practices and knowledge.
I'm going to do this public order one first.
In time, the law they will gain.
John's happy I got to mention you. Yeah, I got to mention you. Just don't make me mention you again over the political stuff. I'd rather keep things happy.
Wears thin, my king, but you must temper the need for vengeance with further.
Okay, we're going to go ahead and end the turn. Can I name a dwarf after Sextus? I'm sure I could.
More greenskins muster in the mountain pass to the east.
Yeah, you really, Roderick makes a good point. You really don't have to know anything about the lore of this game. to make it interesting. I don't know much about the lore of this game, and I still have a crap load of fun with it. So there's you really don't have to know a lot about the lore. It's pretty fun. And people do mention the fact that there's not very many races and stuff. That's true. But each legendary lord is quite a bit different, and getting to use them in battle will definitely change the way you behave. And then each race is very different from the other. And if you go back and look at, say, like Total War Attila, yeah, we got a lot of races, but how many of them were really just kind of copy-paste of each other? And when you get down to it, 4 or 5 races there was about the same. So in a lot of ways, because of all the copy-paste, unfortunately, in the last couple of Total War games, it's really just about equivalent. So I do have a grudge thrower. I got some hammers, too. Those guys are going to be fantastic. Quarrelers are also really good. They are pretty decent early skirmishers, and they're going to be very good against... Greenskin early units. Okay, let's go ahead and start the battle. I'm going to use my grudge thrower on infantry. Sometimes it's tempting to target their leader, but you got to know that what each artillery unit is good at. The grudge thrower, if we pop it up here, it's anti-infantry, so really that's where your focus should be with it. It's not going to do a ton to the Greenskin faction leader. I'm going to move up a little bit rather than just stay back here. The battle controls are very similar to Total War Attila. Let's see. Someone says their computer just dies when Attila starts. Attila is difficult to run. It is rough on any computer, to be honest. I mean, it runs, but if you're looking for like ultimate performance, kind of like with 60 FPS and all that stuff, just keep dreaming. It's not gonna happen. I'm gonna go ahead and stop the grudge thrower before it hits my own guys, like it just did. I'm gonna go ahead and use my quarrelers to start attacking the orc air boys, and I'm gonna try and move some of my hammers around the flank. I'm going to bring Thorgrim up here. I should have had Thorgrim closer. Well, he doesn't have any abilities yet, so it doesn't really matter too much. But should keep him closer just to support the fight, unless you see something that's going to be a danger to him. Okay, these hammers should tear up the orc boy biggins. I'm going to rear charge here. Hammers are a unit that are meant to do a ton of damage, and they're good, when used in scenarios like this, just to dish out a ton of damage. So you can see the hammers in there getting some work done. We've driven off one of the orc air boys. And let's take Thorgrim in after Nashrak here. This is the lord here for the Greenskins. So we're going to start whipping up on him with Thorgrim. He's actually, the Greenskin boss obviously will do pretty darn good against my my standard units. Okay, I'm going to kind of split up a little bit, try and finish off these orc boys that are regrouping. You can see my quarrelers having no problems mopping up the orc air boys. Thunderers and quarrelers tend to be pretty darn superior to the orc equivalents. Or the orcs don't really have an equivalent, I should say. So you can see Thorgrim's just duking it out with Nashrak there. These orc infantry obviously going to get beat by what I have here, but don't always take greenskin infantry for granted. Some of it is quite good. I'm going to take all my infantry, and I'm actually going to run down the legendary lord if it lets me. I don't know if we can catch him, but I'll try and kill him. And let's take my grudge thrower and actually target these guys a little bit. Yeah, I don't know if it's going to let me kill him all the way or not, but I'm going to try and run him down so that he doesn't get away. Even when you're chasing a legendary lord, you got to do a lot of damage to him. And you can see my guys are struggling just to catch him, so I'm obviously not going to be doing a ton of damage here. I'll take a look at the comments here, see if there's any other comments going on right now. Let's see. I really want him dead, but I don't think I'm going to get it before he gets to the red line. I'm going to let it just keep fast forwarding. The only unit I have that's keeping up is this dwarf warrior, And it looks like the hammerers are trying to catch up, but not quite. Yeah, he's going to make it to the edge of the map. So, in the battle, Warhammer is a crazy expensive hobby. Someone's saying, I've never looked at buying any of the models or anything just because I haven't had any interest in doing anything like that, but I've heard it's pretty expensive. Alright, so there we got our first victory. You get loot for winning battles, which is kind of cool. And you have the choice of either executing captives or releasing the captives, so you can get money from it, but it's going to slow down your replenishment rate. So that's kind of the trade-off. I usually just execute the captives. Someone's asking if the GTX 960 can run it on high. I don't know, because I don't have a GTX 960 to test it with. I know that my 970 can easily run it on high. I'm sure the 960 can probably run it on high, but I'm guessing your frame rates won't be the same as what I experienced. But I mean, on high, unless I'm in a huge siege battle or something like that, I'm typically getting 80 frames a second on the 970 in just like normal battles and stuff like that. So we have a grudge issued. The Book of Grudges is down here. You can see it's telling us that we need to capture the Pillars of Grungni, and that's right here. So that's our next objective. We could stick around and recruit more troops to help us do this, but feel like we've pretty easily got this taken care of. They don't have well, they do have a legendary lord, but he's pretty beat up. So I'm just going to auto-resolve this one. There are no small town battles in this, by the way. There's I just got some armor there from that battle and accidentally skipped it. I'm going to just go ahead and occupy because sacking this settlement wouldn't have yielded too much.
Fixing up the captured city, sir. Yet there are many grudges still to settle. Perfidious.
So if you don't settle the grudges,
Scouts report of a greenskin migration heading northwards. Spies say they intend to meet up and swell the mobs of a dread orc warlord who travels towards the Badlands. Whatever they are up to, they must be stopped. Summon the throng.
no, so someone's saying as a dwarf you can only kill greenskins. Jordan, that's not true. You can kill other factions. You can't occupy their settlements, per se. And again, there's going to be a mod available in the workshop on day one that the Creative Assembly is helping to support that will get rid of that if you do want to be able to capture them all. I cannot occupy a vampire or human settlement. I don't believe. We can occupy greenskin settlements, and there's a few others that you can occupy. So for instance, down here in the Blood River Valley, I can take all this. I can take all this down here. There's just certain areas that the dwarves can't take, and there's honestly a lot for you to take. It'll keep you busy. So, let's see. Do you have to settle grudges within a limit of turns? Yes. Or it starts pushing this bar up. So you can see here, if you keep the grudge settlement down here, people are satisfied and you actually get a boost. As it starts to move up, you start to lose some public order and leadership, which is the equivalent of morale. And then other dwarf factions start to lose their respect for you in diplomacy. Now, what it just popped up here, that's the Battle of Thundering Falls. So it's the first quest battle. And you can actually click on them, and it says Ambush at Thundering Falls. So if we beat it, we get the Dragon Helm, which is extra armor. And it kind of just says Hero Recruited. So if we beat it, we also get a Runesmith, which would be very handy to have. Of course, we have other things to do. But, I mean, it's just kind of telling you what you can do. So in your recruitment, you have global recruitment and local. You can recruit units from anywhere on the map, but it's kind of a nice little trade-off, right? You can recruit them anywhere, and they show up in your army. But the training time is longer, and the cost is much more expensive. Now, the upkeep cost is the same, but the recruitment cost is up quite a bit. So that's just something to be aware of. And again, I like this. It's a pretty nice little trade-off that gives you the ability to not have to turn every province into some kind of military province. Someone's saying, how much time am I streaming? I can go for a little while longer before I need to head back to work. We have some upgrades that we can throw out here, too. We need to repair this settlement, and then I'm going to go ahead and throw in a barley field there, and then I'm going to throw in a refectory here, which should boost our public order. Now, I may change these buildings around over time some, but that's what I'm going to start off with. And then in terms of recruitment, right now I only have access to just miners and stuff. We're going to need more troops to recruit. But we have a solid number of dwarf warriors, and then if we keep the hammerers alive, that's going to make a big difference too. I'm going to grab 2 more dwarf warriors. just so that we have plenty of men. We've got our research going, so I'm going to go ahead and end. Thorgrim can be upgraded, so here's our first skill points we get to put towards him. He also has these different items that you can exchange in and out for him. We don't have any other options right now, so that's why it's saying that we don't have anything else to throw in here. But over time, you'll be able to fill these up. And in terms of skills, he's got like these different lines here, and then some of these big things at the top. So this is just kind of one of those, these are quest things that you unlock up here, which, you know, is pretty cool stuff. Anyway, so we can start unlocking lines. So you can see up here, this one kind of makes him better in melee. This line is going to make him better in leadership, and then this line down here is going to make him better on the campaign map in terms of moving troops around and all that other kind of stuff. So I'm thinking that I kind of want to make him better in melee to start off with. So yeah, because the dwarves have pretty good, they have pretty good stats with their troops, even their baseline troops. So I don't feel like I need a ton of support for that just right off the bat. Go ahead and end another turn. Someone's asking if I was going to play on Legendary. I may eventually. I need to learn the game first before I even try and attempt Legendary. Trying to think. What else is going on here in the chat? The boys are going to get you. They will try. Trust me, the Greenskins make a number of attempts on you. And it can get pretty challenging sometimes to deal with. So yeah, trust me, the Greenskins will give me a run for my money, and there's a lot of different Greenskins. Let's take a look at diplomacy real quick. Probably not a whole lot I can do right now.
Through diplomacy, my lord.
Thanks, appreciate it, my jerk. Yeah, not a whole lot we can do in here. We've got some different people that I can talk to, but no other trade agreements or anything else that we can really do at the moment. We're going to need to take Mount Squighorn so that we can complete ownership of the Silver Road province here. So I'm thinking, let's go ahead and push Mount Squighorn.
We mark another grudge.
Get this done without sitting around for too long. I am going to go ahead and sack the settlement. It seems like this helps get you a lot of different followers and upgrades faster from all the sacking. And then I'll turn around and capture it on the next one. A lot of times you can sack it and take it all in the same turn if you have enough movement points. Dwarves just want to have fun. That's right, George. Dwarves just want to have fun. Thorgrim's got another skill point that we can put. I'm going to give him the hard to hit, and eventually we'll unlock Foe Seeker. Let's go ahead and end the turn. I like how many people are rooting for the Greenskins. The Greenskins, I'm actually kind of looking forward to playing a Greenskin campaign, if for nothing else than just renaming their characters with more of their kind of funny, humorous names that they already have. There's a few of them that I think I could have a lot of fun renaming and having some fun with them. The Greenskins are interesting. The main reason I didn't start with them is they do have the hardest starting position, and they actually they are a lot different in the way that you play them, and I do want to get there. So we gained an enchanted item there, the Featherfoe Torque. So this actually we can use on enemies to make them weaker, or it's a passive ability that works on all enemies when Grudge Bearer is around. So that's pretty cool. We've gained an Archivist, so that's going to speed up our research rates. So you can see that you start to level up there with your Legendary Lord as you gain things. We need to repair some of this stuff. We don't need another sparring chamber, so I'm going to demolish that building. And I'll probably end up building this out there and replacing it out here. I kind of like to keep my main settlement for some other types of buildings. Just to kind of explain some of the buildings, by the way, so the barley fields help you replenish faster, and they help with growth in the province. And if you go look at the building browser here, these trinket makers are kind of like an income building. You can do this this drinking hall and stuff. This boosts your it's going to boost your public order. And then in terms of other buildings, you know, you can do a lot of the military buildings, and then there's like siege engineers and slayer shrines. Those typically are best built in your giant settlement or your capital, but they can be built elsewhere. And the reason I say that is because if you have certain ones combined, you can get awesome units out of it. But yeah, I typically use my smaller settlements for like trinket makers and these barley fields and other stuff like that, and then try and use my main settlement for military and and other things. There are also these buildings here. You can build extra defenses in your small settlement. It's still just an open land battle when you play it, so that doesn't change. But just to make you all aware of that. So we finished our research. I'm going to go ahead and let's do this levy missile warriors. And we'll also work on gather the throngs. Let's go ahead and work on gather the throngs, because that'll help us out from a military standpoint. So yeah, we've got the Silver Road conquered for the moment. You can see we're waiting on population surplus. You have to have population surplus to improve your strongholds, and yeah, that's pretty much how that works. And you get extra surplus obviously by having more of these grain fields. It'll help you out with that. Let's go ahead and end the turn. We can issue a commandment, which is kind of like an edict from past Total Wars. And someone's asking me how corruption works. That's a good question. I'll try and show you. So one of the edicts we can issue here actually gives us extra public order and helps reduce vampiric and chaos corruption. Corruption is spread by enemy agents or buildings. And as you can see, we can actually come in here and it'll show you on the map, you know, some of the corruption if you want to see it. Ownership, diplomatic status, attitude, wealth, public order, growth, vampiric corruption. So right now we're not suffering from any, and then there's chaos corruption. So you're able to see those. You can also see where the winds of magic are strong. So if you're playing as the Empire or the Greenskins, these other factions that rely on magic a lot more heavily than the dwarves, then yes, you want to know where the winds of magic are high, because when you come into that battle, you're going to be able to use more magic, obviously. So that's another big deal to be aware of. Thorgrim's got another skill that we can pop up on him. I'm going to give him Scarred Veteran. And still making decent income with the army I have. Don't feel a huge need to recruit a whole lot of anything else. There is a gold mine down here, yeah, in Black Crag. That's pretty much, it's a good place to gun for as soon as you're able to, but you definitely have to stabilize the Silver Road before you can just walk off from it. It's also good to be able to get ready to recruit agents. So like if we look, you're going to want to get agents as soon as you can. Right now we can't get any. So that's something that we need to deal with. But if we go take a look at, say, like our building browser, you should be able to see Hall of Oaths. Enables recruitment of Thanes. So at the Hall of Oaths, so that's an important one. I'm trying to remember the other ones. So you have to have an engineer's workshop to get a siege engineer, and then the runesmiths. I'm trying to remember where the runesmith comes from. Enables hero recruitment of a runesmith right here at the Rune Forge. So you've got to have this level. Yeah, you've got to have this level 2, this Grommail Forge building. So it's definitely important to try and get agents out as soon as you can. They can be very helpful in your army. Runesmiths are kind of like your anti-magic. Thanes are like a melee hero for you, and then your engineers kind of can give buffs to your siege equipment and all that other kind of stuff. So any Levy Freeman in this game, MLG Meat Shield Ask. I like the name there, by the way. So yes, of course, there are definitely lots of quote-unquote Levy Freemen. I don't know if any of them are quite as effective as the Levy Freeman, but there's definitely a lot of throwaway units, especially for factions like Vampires and Greenskins. The Dwarves and Empire, not so much, but the Greenskins and the Vampires definitely make heavy use of meat shields. All right, so we do have some population surplus, which is nice. Definitely nice to have, but I'm not going to take advantage of it just yet. I'm going to go ahead and pop another barley field here. It'll help me retrain faster and get more growth, and then we can focus on... This one actually gives extra growth, so I'm going to pop that one up for a little while so that we can get our faction going a little bit quicker. Because right now I'm just going to be bumping through a couple of turn-ins, just kind of securing the Silver Road. Yeah, zombies are definitely a throwaway unit.
Desires a change in your mutual relations.
So these guys want my military alliance. They're at war with quite a few factions. I'm already at war with several of the factions they are as well. Orcs, the Bloody Horde, Scabii, Teef Snatches. That name, man, I just like... Some of the Greenskin names are just hilarious. They're down here in the river valley. They want my military alliance. I'm not actually interested in giving them that right now. I kind of hope they get beat up so I can take the Blood River Valley. It's a great province. Okay, look at that. There you go. The Red Fangs have moved some troops into my province, and they are raiding. And because of it, it's issued a grudge for me to go get this army controlled by the Red Fangs. So, and I do want to answer that grudge as quickly as possible. So we're going to move that direction. I'm going to move up here and get ready to challenge this Gorfang Rotgut. Very nice sounding name, right? And we're going to have a few turns before we can upgrade our hull, and part of the reason I want to do that is so that I can... I'm actually going to tear down... What's the... public order here is not real good. This thing adds 5. I think I am going to tear that down, actually. I'll go ahead and upgrade the Pillars of Grungni, and we'll build that that building back there. But I want to be able to upgrade and get a skirmisher range, basically, to be able to train those guys. We got our grudge. We got one more turn on our research, so let's go ahead and end this turn as well. Yeah, I know, Pafo, I was actually having a hard time waiting on this game too, and when I finally got a hold of the review copy, man, I was so excited. Like, came home as quick as I could and got it started up. The game is a ton of fun to play. Really happy with what they've done with this game for the most part. I find it to be very enjoyable. We've got the extra population surplus too to go ahead and build this dwarf outpost up too, and I'm going to go ahead and do that just so we can try and get a little bit more out of this province for the time being. And I've got the skirmisher range being built as well. Let's go ahead and do the levy missile warriors as well. And then we can upgrade the damage on our crossbows and the militia training here, right here. Actually, let's run the militia training because that'll affect a lot of the units that we have at the moment. We still have the grudge. So this is where grudges get tricky. We still have the grudge to go run down that Red Fang army. And it's irritating because they just take off, and that grudge is still there. And it's going to end up having a bad negative impact on my public order. But you see, he's run off to where I can't catch him. And this is one of the challenges with grudges that I kind of hope CA addresses this. I mean, you can see this guy has run off all the way down here. I mean, he's not there anymore. I understand that there's still a grudge against this guy, but the dude took off. I kind of answered the grudge by chasing him off. And the Greenskins can screw you over with this because you'll end up getting big-time public order penalties because they'll come in and they'll raid like that and then they just take off. Yeah, someone's asking about crashes, and they mentioned that I said in the review. I have not had this game crash on me once. Knock on wood. Hope it doesn't do it yet. But you get a lot of stuff like this too. A shameful display, which this is a great throwback to Shogun Total War. I like this. So it says a close ally and influential Dawi sitting on several guild councils as shamed as family name with a craven act. He should by all accounts take the Slayer Oath and go into exile. So if we make him take the oath, we get minus diplomatic relations. If we don't do anything, we lose public order. So we're going to make him take the oath. Yeah, I've got a lot of hours in with no crashes. It's over 30 hours. Yeah, the grudge system, it's not terrible because it caps out up here at -2 and then some leadership penalties. So it does cap out, which is nice. It doesn't go absolutely crazy for you on the grudge system. So it is cool because it kind of gives you like little missions to go after, and I like that. It kind of means like, oh, okay, hey, we need to go kill this rot guy. But look, he's already run all the way down here. I'm not gonna catch him. It's not gonna happen. I have to wait for him to come back and settle it, but for the time being, he's going to cause me a loss of some public order that I really don't appreciate. And that's just kind of the way the game works, unfortunately. But it's not the end of the world. Like I said, there's maybe a few improvements that either modders or CA will make to it that could make it a little better, but it's not bad. It plays just fine the way it is. Like if this went all the way up to like -10 public order or something like that, or -20 leadership, it would be a problem. But fortunately, like I said, it's kind of more of a nuisance than anything else. That's weird. More dwarves just popping up right there in my province. You better have friendly intentions there, chump. Barak Var. Yeah, they shouldn't be here to attack me. So, and apparently I've lost my trading with anybody that I did have trade open with. And the dwarves really focus on their income. You need to build up tool makers. You need to build up trade income, stuff like that. The dwarves can get very wealthy from that type of thing. You just have to really capitalize on it. I'm going to go ahead and move over here to Mount Squighorn. And I'm going to take on a few more warriors here. I'm going to grab a couple more quarrelers and a grudge. Oh, I did that from the wrong menu. I'm going to grab the grudge thrower, a couple more quarrelers. And then that should start to put us in pretty good shape. And we can go ahead and build up another building here. I'm going to do this one that helps the morale. We can actually upgrade this granary too, which again just helps with growth, which we definitely want because we want to upgrade our main settlement here. Classic AI army sitting outside your cities. You know, I hadn't actually ever seen that in my last dwarf campaign. Friendly dwarves never came into my territory, but the Greenskins are pretty aggressive most of the time. I'm kind of surprised that one army ran away. The Teeth Snatches got destroyed. Oh, I swear those guys have the best name. So the gods are angry. Ill omens. Something you've done has angered the gods, yet they are fickle and may forgive you, or more obedient. So I can either pay the gods, basically, or lose some public order. But I do gain growth by making the gods angry, which is kind of liking that idea. So I'm going to take the growth. We'll eat the little bit of public order. I'll live. And I'm going to go ahead and make a tool maker or trinket maker over here. And we'll go ahead and upgrade this to a granary as well. So we've got our extra troops here. We've definitely lost some of our income. I'm thinking about running up here to the ambush at Thundering Falls. But I may be too hasty to go for the ambush. In fact, I think I'm pretty much out of time. I need to get back to work. So yeah, I probably better save this here and we'll pick it up next time. Obviously, nothing too crazy has happened so far, but we've kind of gotten an introduction here. Seems like y'all are enjoying it. Lots of good questions. What other campaigns do y'all want to see me play? So just kind of be letting me know. And right now I'm also thinking about starting an Empire campaign, but I don't have to. And like I said, I'm not going to do just one campaign. I might do 2 or 3 of them at a time just to make it to where you all get to see lots of different stuff, because the game's kind of new and it's always nice to be able to see lots of stuff. And I know that some people will say, well, so-and-so's doing this campaign. Well, with only 4 factions, there's pretty much no way for us YouTubers not to overlap each other pretty heavily. Someone wants me to talk about my setup. I don't know what you mean in terms of setup. I've got a i7 4770K and a 970 graphics card, so this is on the hard difficulty for whoever was asking. Go for an evil campaign. I do want to have an evil campaign, and I'm sure I will. But I also want to do the Empire campaign just because I really like the Empire armies. They're a lot of fun to use. All the different wizards and witch hunters and cool stuff. I mean, they just have a lot of cool stuff to use. But and like I said, I'm not limited to 1 or even 2 campaigns. I can do as many campaigns as people want to see, to be honest. So happy to do it. Anyway, I'm going to take off. Appreciate you all joining the stream today. I'm going to go ahead and save my game here. So we're going to call this one Dwarf. Oh, I got my caps lock on. Dwarf YouTube 1. There we go. So got it saved. Probably should have saved it to the cloud just to be safe, but we're good. HeirofCarthage signing out for now, and tune in. I'll probably do another stream tonight of another faction too. So tonight my time, which is probably going to be around 7:30 or 8 Central Standard Time. If you want to come back and check it out, I know I don't have it set up on YouTube yet, but it'll probably be a little bit impromptu. But come back if you want to see me jump into another one. And of course, just keep an eye on YouTube. These videos will always be uploaded if you can't join me live, and you'll get a chance to see it. HeirofCarthage signing out for now. I will see you all on the next video or live stream, whichever it is.